we're in this process of improving ourselves, changing our lives, be- eradicating old habits, transforming into this new person, into this new identity, staying there to the best of our ability, right? Um, but I want to talk about, growing pains, right? The growing pains of becoming your best self and, really transforming yourself. And I noticed them in myself every single day. You know, like I said, it's a constant war. It's a daily war every single day, right? And I'm always going to reiterate this. Like, I'm always going to be honest with you guys because you guys are my family, and I know that I'm not the only one that's feeling like this, right? So in the past, I didn't like, like I made a video called "I Hated the Man in the Mirror." I didn't like the man in the mirror, right? I didn't like him. I can't stand him, and at times I don't want to think about him, right? And I do the best I can every single day not to go back to that person. I don't want to go back to that person at all. That person has did nothing but sabotage himself, sabotage relationships, lied, was angry all the time, right? But I want to, like I said, I want to speak about the growing pains, growing because there's some times where I do fall back into old habits. I do, and I have to learn, and we have to learn not to be so hard on ourselves with that, because all our lives we just knew our habits, we operated from those habits, so that's all we know, that's all we operated by, that's all we are, that's who we were. So when we are saying no, I'm not going to do that no more, I'm going to be this way, I'm not going to say that, I'm going to say this, I'm not going to think like that, I'm going to think like that, there's growing pains. You find yourself falling short. I found myself personally, I found myself still taking things too serious, not being calm, not being chill. I found myself still getting those thoughts of just wanting to relax, not going hard as I possibly want to. I have those thoughts. Some days it gets the best of me. Some days it doesn't. Most days it doesn't. But I know I have to understand it's growing pains. It's growing pains. And growing pains suck. It freaking sucks. If you have a mind, like I'll tell you my mind, like I don't like messing up. I cannot stand messing up. But that's part of life, and I have to understand that. That's maturity to understand that you will make mistakes, you will fall down, but you have to get back up and do it again, and do the best you can not to go fall back. So I just want you guys to know that you are transforming yourself, you are transforming identity. Be ready for the growing pains. Be ready for that. Another growing pain for me is, you know, not cursing anymore. I don't curse at all. But I found myself slipping up and saying things here and there. I'm like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Still growing out of that. Still getting out of that mindset. Still getting out of the mindset of selfishness. Just being real with you guys, yeah. Seeking validation, growing. That's like those are the growing pains. Being mature, being able to speak instead of holding things in. Those are the things that will take time. I wish one day we can wake up and be the person that we wanted to be all along. I wish. I think that'd be kind of great, actually. But that would never happen. That would never happen, and I actually don't want that to happen because I don't. It'd be too easy. It'd be too easy. It would be great, but then we'll have. How can we inspire people? How can we relate to people? How can when people say, "Man, I'm struggling with this," you can't relate because you just became that person, or you was already that person, so you can never really relate. I'm happy that I'm going through these times so I can talk on camera, and whoever's inspired by it, whoever feel this message, they can feel it and know that they're not alone, and you're not alone, and I'm here. And like I said, I'm gonna always be honest with you guys, and I'm going to hold you guys accountable, and I want you guys to hold me accountable. But the growing pains is necessary. The growing pains is necessary for growth. The growing pains is necessary for a story. The growing pains is necessary for shining our light. Even though the growing pain sucks, holding ourselves accountable sucks. That's part of the process. That's being obsessed with excellence. We can't skip steps. Like I said, I wish I could skip steps. I wish. I'd be like, ah man, let me just be that person. But I always remember this is not about me. It's about you guys. It's about the world. It's about how can I shine my light? How can I inspire, help, and motivate millions of people around the world? You might not want to inspire, help, and motivate people around the world. You maybe just want to inspire your family, and that's good enough for you. And that's perfect. If you can do that, that you did something bad. You did more than 99% of the people in this world. If you can inspire your family, you did more than 99% of the people in the world. But we got to go through these grinding pains. We got to go through these growing pains. We have to. We got to be okay with it. Got to be okay with it. You know your own growing pains. You know what you struggle with, and you know what you're fighting every day. I don't know what you're fighting every day. I don't know. If you want to put it in the comment section, great. I'll give you the most positive answer I could possibly give. But like I said, I just wanted to come on camera and talk about that because I struggle with that all the time. Growing pains, being that old self, growing on like, yo, I'm still growing. I'm still figuring it out. And especially if you're in your teens and your 20s, I'm in my 20s, right? Your 20s, man, this is the time where we're gonna have a lot of growing pains. Oh my gosh, a lot of growing pains. Because we don't understand the world yet. We don't understand people yet. We don't understand dynamics yet. But once we figure it out, life will be a little bit more smooth sailing. So the growing pain is going to be even higher if you're like 15, 16, 18, 21, 25, 28. By the time you're 30, 35, this is what I hear people say. They say it gets a little bit more easier. You'll start understanding what life is about. So like I said, we got to go through these growing pains. We got to do what we got to do. We got to stick through it. The end vision is to be the best person we could possibly be. Be at the highest level for ourselves. Be obsessed with health, wealth, becoming our best self. Being obsessed with excellence, shine our light, so we can see our good works and glorify our Father which is in heaven. Amen. That's it. That's it.